5%.
What's up, disciplined investor?
We got Benzinga CEO Jason Raznick here with us.
The man, the myth, the legend, Tom Nash.
Peter Schiff on the Power Hour with us live today.
Interesting, different, unique, innovative companies.
Mia, you are live with us on the Power Hour. What's up?
Thank you so much for inviting me on.
Jessica Billingsley is the CEO of Akerna.
The best trade idea resource out there. Yo, what's up, everybody? How's it going? Yeah, happy Monday night. It's time to get this thing rolling. We are doing some late night education, special edition, here with Ruell. What are we talking about today, man?
We are talking about SPACs, warrants, and options today.
All right. Those are some good topics. There's some hot tickers. I've been killed in the SPACs recently. It seems like a little bit of energy has faded out of them, but I still have a lot of names. I have a lot of warrants. We get a lot of questions of people asking, what are SPACs? What are warrants on SPACs? It's not super trivial. So let's get into it.
All right, cool. So we're going to really focus on how to invest in SPACs, where to find them, what the best resources are. And then I want to do a thing about warrants where we do warrants versus options and warrant math. So all right, let's just get straight into it. And then, okay, so the way that I describe SPACs to people is like, you think of an angel investor, and the angel investor has like a public company, and they want to go out and they want to find a company that's profitable. And that's basically what a SPAC is. They go out to this company, they say, okay, use my money and my resources, and I get a piece of your business, and we merge together. And that's how I describe a SPAC. And I think the best way to get into SPACs are pre-merger. If you get in pre-merger, you can get them around like $10 to $12, depending on the management. And you want to go for the companies that have the best management, like Peter Thiel, Chamath Palihapitiya, people like that. And also the best place to find SPAC info is, of course, Benzinga on the SPAC Attack with Mitch Hotch and Chris Catchy, Twitter. And I have a link right here I'm going to put in the chat. It's called SPAC Tracks. It tells you when all the warrants are happening and stuff like that. Let me see. Here, I'll chat it to you, Luke. See if you can put it in there.
Yep, I will drop it in for everyone.
Let's see.
And just to clarify something, so you talked about SPACs pre-merger, and is what you mean by that essentially it's before they announce what company they're going to be merging with, correct?
Yes, before they announce what company they're going to merge with.
Okay, got it. All right, and again, guys, if you just joined us, we are talking about SPAC investing and getting deeper with warrants on SPACs. All right, so we just did the definition as to what SPACs are, and you said it's basically like buying a venture capital type company, where you know you're picking a stock. You don't know what company it is, but you have a manager, and they're going to buy another company, which you'll then be an investor in. So
Exactly.
So now that we define SPACs, what do you want to get into?
Okay, now I want to get in warrants, SPAC warrants specifically. So, okay. SPAC warrants. Okay, so the way I think of warrants are kind of like options without Greeks. Okay. So what? I'm sorry.
Keep going. That was Aaron.
Many people say that they're risky, but I say they're actually less risky. I haven't seen any warrant not happen or any SPAC not happen because there's a possibility that you can lose your warrant money if the SPAC doesn't find a deal. But I haven't seen any SPAC not find a deal. And it just basically gives you more bang for your buck. So let's say the warrant price starts at $250 and the actual initial share price starts at like $10.50. So then if you do 250 times 4, you actually get the right to 4 shares for the amount of 1 share, if that makes sense.
Okay, wait. Let's go through this example again. So the SPAC itself is trading at $10 per share,
Mm-hmm.
right? You're
Yep.
saying that the warrant is trading at $2.50 per share,
Correct.
and the warrant gives you the right to buy shares of the SPAC at what price?
Generally, it's at 11.50.
Okay.
But there are a couple of caveats there. You can't redeem the warrant until like usually 90 days after the company merges. And you need to use a lot of math to determine like how much you make.
So and you said, okay, keep going. Then I'll ask some more questions.
the other way about it is you can just trade the warrant itself. And I can just go out and point out a couple examples. Let me see. Let me share the screen because I'm going to also have to do some warrant math here.
Okay. Can you put your calculator on the screen so we can see the warrant math while you're doing it?
Sure. No, I have it all out. Let me see. Application window. Chrome tab. Okay, so let's just go into the warrant math first before I do an example.
Okay. And let me try to can I try to do the warrant math to you?
Sure.
And let's see if I understand right.
So let's go. Here's the warrant math right here. Can you see it?
Now we can. All right. So okay. All right. So you're saying 30 warrants and again, these are warrants on SPACs that we're talking about tonight. So you're saying 30
Correct.
warrants at an average price of $3.50 per warrant, correct?
Mm-hmm. Yep, correct.
Okay. And you're saying that the SPAC is currently trading at $25 per share.
Correct.
And the warrant gives you the right to buy the SPAC for $11.50 per share.
Yep.
Okay. And so since you're buying the warrant for $3.50 a share, the warrant gives you the right to buy the SPAC at $11.50 per share. That makes your average price to buy the SPAC $15 per share.
Correct.
The SPAC is currently trading at $25 per share, and so you profit $12 per share.
Basically, yes. Now,
Okay. All right. Tell me where I got it wrong.
The only other thing that you have to keep into account is usually places have like a one-time fee to redeem your shares.
Okay.
For TD Ameritrade, for me, it's like $35. So you have to factor that into the whole equation. But once you factor in that fee too, then you have it all right. That's all it. But let me share one more thing with you.
And wait, can I do another example for a pre-merger SPAC?
Sure.
Okay, so let me walk you through this and tell me if this is accurate. And guys out there, if you have questions, let us know. But again, I'm going to walk through an example for a pre-merger SPAC. So let's say the SPAC is trading at $10 per share.
Mm-hmm.
The warrants cost $2.50.
Right.
So I can choose to buy the warrant for $2.50.
Mm-hmm.
And if the SPAC gets a deal done and the share price rises, let's say to 15, then I have the right to buy the share of the SPAC at $11.50. So essentially, I have to put less capital up front, right? It doesn't cost me as much capital to get involved, and I can buy, I can spend the rest of that capital at some point in the future when the share price is appreciated.
That's almost correct. Almost
okay.
correct.
Okay.
So the only thing that you have to keep in mind is you cannot redeem the SPAC until 90 days after the company merges.
Okay.
So
my math is right, but I have that one nuance of a rule, which is I have to wait 90 days.
Right. And how most people do it is they'll get into a pre-merger SPAC and then they'll wait for it to announce or whatever. And then once it announces, it has that initial pop, right?
Mm-hmm.
And then people sell half their SPAC shares, and
Yep.
that's the half that they use to pay for the redemption later.
Yep.
That makes sense.
Yep.
So then that's the half they use to pay for the redemption later.
Mm-hmm.
Or
and again, the big risk that you're putting up is that if the SPAC doesn't get a deal done, you don't just get your money back. Your warrant goes to zero, and your SOL on whatever you spent to buy those warrants.
correct. But I have not seen that to happen in the last 2 years that I've been looking at warrants.
Okay. All right. I'm still scared that it will at some point. but it's good that it hasn't happened to you yet.
I bet on my boy Chamath and Peter Thiel and people like that. They usually just get it done.
Yep.
And one good example to look at right now is MP Materials.
All right. Well, hold on. Let's get a chart on the screen. MP Materials. So is this a former SPAC that's now doing a deal?
Yes. This
All
is a
right.
former SPAC that's now like done a deal, closed, and we can look at the share price and the warrant price. Right now, the warrants are at like.
Hold on. Let me pull up the stock. You're so fast. This is beginner SPACs. All right. So here's the chart. I'm gonna pull up the 1 month chart. The stock we're talking about is ticker MP. Michael Papa. MP Materials. All right. Now go for it.
Okay, so if you can go back like a year.
All right. Here's a 1 year chart with daily candles. I believe this might be weeklies.
Okay, maybe we need to go
No,
back.
these are daily candles. Go further back. Go
Yes.
2 years.
Yes.
Oh, you know what? The data doesn't start until this data is only after the ticker changed.
Oh, okay. Can you pull up then TradeView?
Yeah. Killing me to do this, but I'll do it. All right. Then let's see. We want to take our MP.
TradeView's better anyway because we can see the.
Oh, come on! Don't say that out loud.
Well, embedded in Benzinga are TradeView apps or our TradeView.
All right. Let me see if this works in Benzinga Pro.
So.
Right there. How's that? Did that go further enough back for you or no?
No,
I don't think it does.
It doesn't.
All right, there. Now you're happy. Here's a 1 year chart with daily candles.
So you can see it kind of just hung around $14 forever, right?
Yep.
And this is all while the SPAC was declared. But
and again, let's just put this in simple terms. So it was after the SPAC announced that it was going to be doing a deal and acquiring MP Materials, but before that deal actually closed.
Correct. And then where you see the uptick is around where the deal closed, but also this is one of the reasons why I like SPACs as well. SPACs kind of run with the market trends, right? And sometimes they're a little bit ahead of the market trends. And with this particular SPAC, one of the reasons why I picked it is it was ahead of the trend on precious metals. All of these precious metals are going to be needed for EVs and all these charging stations and everything like that. So they were ahead of the trend. They were ahead of the trend with the market. So forever, no one really cared about it until they did, right? Until EVs were like all the rage and everything, and the Biden administration and all this big push for it. So that's the power right there. Now, if you look at these shares and you see that this is at $14, right? Now, if you go to the SPAC, it's pretty much going to. I'm sorry, if you go to the warrant, it'll pretty much mirror that.
Can I get the warrants on here?
Yes, you can. It's like a EWS, something like that. /W.
There it is. All right, so here's the warrants.
And you can see the warrants like stuck at like $4 forever, right?
Mm-hmm.
So had you invested at any point at that time, right now it's selling for $18 a share. So you could choose to just like sell the warrant or just like, okay, I'm going to hold and I'm going to redeem. So
and again, the advantage of buying the warrant instead of the stock is that it requires you to put less capital up front because you're
Correct.
buying the right to acquire the stock for $11 per share at some point in the future, roughly 11, maybe 11.50 in this one.
Yes.
The downside is that if the price of the stock is is below whatever that execution price is, like below 11.50, your warrant is worthless, right? So you have more upside. Your downside, you don't have to lay out as much capital, but it can go to zero a lot more easily than if you actually own the stock.
Correct. But see, that's the beauty of this, that you pick like really good management teams. Like if you look at even like Chamath's SPACs that have like haven't even declared yet, those warrants are like at $5 or something like that. And if you bought them before, like if you bought them when it first kind of came out, which is what that SPAC Tracks site is all about, you you'd already be up 100% on them, and they haven't even declared yet. So that's the beauty of that. And also the other beauty is like you're kind of almost creating your own option, and there's no Greeks with that. So you don't have to worry about it expiring or people playing around with prices on that. You could just hold the warrant until either the company asks you to redeem or you just sell it.
Yep. All right. And shout out to Juan in the chat saying I'm actually learning LOL. I think that's a positive
Good.
comment.
That is what we're about. It's all what we're about.
And then
Love
Phil
it.
has a question, Ruell. He's saying, I'll just read it off to you. Do SPACs have to disclose / adhere to specific criteria for companies they target to merge with? If not, how do you do due diligence on the SPAC pre-merger?
That's an excellent question. How I do my diligence is I go on Twitter, and honestly, people like to badmouth Twitter and badmouth people, but these guys have excellent research. They're like on it before some of the like big guys like Bloomberg and whatnot are on it.
But not before Benzinga.
But not before Benzinga for sure. And Bloomberg's also another site to watch. And honestly, SPAC Attack show on Benzinga, you guys, it comes on. I'm in Arizona so it comes on every day at 9:00 for me. So I believe that's like 11
11
a.m.
Eastern.
Yep. Chris Catchy knows so much about these SPACs. Oh my
He's the
God,
man.
you guys, like watch those shows. That's where you can do your due diligence. He'll bring up stuff, and if the SPAC sounds interesting to you, if it sounds interesting in an interesting sector to you, buy it. Like right now, I'm all about EVs, clean energy, cannabis, and a new one I'm on is semiconductors. Because I don't know if you guys heard, but there's a semiconductor shortage, and I'm an engineer, and we had problems getting semiconductors. So that's another one I'm on. So I'm big on this SPAC called ACEV, which is merging with a semiconductor company. But to answer your question, I get it from SPAC Attack on Benzinga, Twitter, and those are my biggest places. And also, yes, Benzinga Pro, because if you go to Benzinga Pro and you put in on the news, can you bring that up, Luke?
Yep. Let me share my screen again. All right. All right, here's my Benzinga Pro. You want me to look at a specific ticker or the whole news feed?
I want you to bring up 2 news feeds.
All right, I'm doing 2 news feeds. And guys, if you want to check this out, it's pro.benzinga.com, pro.benzinga.com. You get 2-week free trial. And if you email me, my email is just luke@benzinga.com. I'll hook it up a little more. But all right, I've got 2 news feeds up. Which tickers do you want to see?
Okay, no. So I want you to put in one of them, I want you to put SPAC, and then the other one, I want you to put merger.
Okay, so you want keywords.
Yep, exactly.
SPAC and then merger. All right, those
then
are your keywords.
Under sources, I want you to click like press releases.
On both of them?
Yeah.
All right, and my press releases with my config are green.
Okay.
can do whatever
Ooh,
color you
I
want.
didn't even know you could do that. Okay, so
Wait.
you
All right. Well, if you don't know that, then nobody knows that. So check it out. Let me zoom out. I'm super zoomed, so you can actually see where to change the color right now. But let me reset my zoom here. Alrighty, done. So we're gonna go to sources. I'm gonna click on press releases. Look at you got this color slider. Now they're red.
Oh, that's so sweet. Okay.
Yep. I
You
do
just
green. It's easy on the eyes. But pick whatever color you'd like.
yeah, green's best. And when
And I do that so I can
body
differentiate what the
better.
sources for content are. Because I'm gonna react differently depending on what source the content is coming from.
Right. So with this, guys, you get the news, and if you look on there, they have one for a company Volta, and it was like at 5:30 a.m. It was today.
I was awake for
Merging
that.
with-
Let's see. I think it was the. I think it was maybe the 6 o'clock news hour.
Yeah, the ticker should be something like SP.
Oh, 5 a.m. your time. That's what you're saying. That. I thought it was
Yeah,
6
seven
o'clock
seven year
Eastern.
7 year time.
All right. So let's see. Which one was the one you were looking at?
It's SP. Let me go look.
SNPR. That one.
Yes.
There it
And
is.
what time was that?
It was 6:56 a.m. Me and my buddy Randy were already on the news desk at that time, covering that news. Look at that. We had it for everybody at 6:58 a.m.
So that's it right there, guys. You see, you getting the news first. You're getting it right there in Benzinga Pro. So that's one of the ones that I use where, like, you know, all I have to do is open my computer in the morning and just look at it. It's there, right there. So, and then another thing I do is I would add a watch list to this, and I would just track specs on the side. So I'd have two news feeds up, and then I'd have a watch list full of all my specs. And this is real easy. You can try Benzinga Pro out for free, the full blown version for like 2 weeks. I promise once you try it, you never go back. 'Cause I certainly didn't. So yeah. So that's what that's all about. And then for me, I believe that warrants are better than options because when it comes to the SPAC world, because you don't have the Greeks to worry about. You don't have to worry about that warrant decaying. Really, you just don't have to worry about that. So it's a better buy for you, for anyone.
All right, and let me hammer you through some questions, okay?
Sure.
I'm just gonna read them out, pull them out of here. All right, do you have a? I'm gonna just rapid fire you some tickers. If you have an opinion, say it. CTRM.
CTRM. I don't know what that is. Sorry.
All right, I don't have an opinion on that one either. What about Yatra? YTRA. I like that one personally.
What is that?
I believe it's an Indian travel company.
Okay. No, I don't know
and then
anything
what about
that one.
SBE? Switchback Energy, I believe, is that one.
Oh,
Give me an
I'm
opinion
big
on
on
that one.
switchback. Yeah, I'm really big on switchback. These charging stations are going to become like our new gas stations. So like, and SBE is the leader in that area right now. So I'm really big on those guys.
Yep. And then somebody asked for Chris's Twitter handle, Chris Catchy. He is our Benzinga in-house SPAC expert. He writes about them for Benzinga.com and also does a daily show on SPACs. So I'm dropping that one. I'm just dropped his Twitter handle in there. I'm also going to drop my Twitter in there if you want to go ahead. And I mostly just put funny stuff about stocks. Sometimes I do ideas too. But I'm only making a couple trades a week, so I'll put that in there as well. Somebody's asking an opinion on
generally.
Go ahead.
Go ahead. Oh, Chris will generally like he'll tweet about something like 2 seconds before it hits the Benzinga, like 2 seconds after it hits Benzinga news. I mean, you can't count on that all the time, but like he does it at least half the time. So
Yep.
Just FYI, follow him.
There you go. And somebody's asking for an opinion on CCIV. I think that one has more downside than upside at this point. The stock's at $33. It's the deal with Lucid Motors. If that deal doesn't go through, the thing's down to 15 overnight. And per the commentary that I've read, I'm not an expert on the name, but I've been reading it at a high level. But per the commentary I've read, it seems like there's a decent chance that a deal doesn't go through. So I don't love that one right now.
I got in it the day that it announced. I saw it on Benzinga Pro, and Chris mentioned it on Spec Attack. So I got in around 16, and it doubled, and I closed it out today because I didn't want to risk it. Just like Luke said, it's risky because we don't know if the deal is going to happen, right? So I'd say there's so many other SPACs and things that you can go
and there's
after.
two components, right? There's the deal might not happen, which is true for any SPAC, but also the price is so run up, right? So if the deal doesn't happen, I mean, you're falling further than a SPAC that might be trading at $15 or something along those lines.
Yeah, if you want to measure risk and reward, it's ran so far. The risk is way, 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 way more than the reward on it right now.
Yep.
Anything else? Any other questions?
I think that gets us through them. Yeah, I mean, everybody loves CCIV, but that's why the price is so high. I mean, I'm not in it. Maybe get in it. I guess since there's no more questions, I'll just recap it one more time. Again, SPACs. Ruell used the analogy. I sort of like it of calling them a VC, right? You're basically putting money with a manager who says, "Trust me, I'm smart. I'm going to buy some company that you're going to profit from." So that's what you do. That's what a SPAC is. And then a warrant on the SPAC, it requires you to put less capital down up front for the right to buy the SPAC at some point in the future. So that's the warrant on the SPAC. The risk is that if a deal doesn't get done or if a shitty deal gets done, your warrant will go to zero. Whereas if you just own the stock outright, that won't happen. So again, the trade-off sort of is you're putting down less money up front to wait on a deal, but it can go to zero. And somebody's saying thoughts on PSTH. I like that one. That's the Bill Ackman SPAC. Bill Ackman, he's like my favorite hedge fund manager. I know everybody hates him. Not everybody. A lot of people don't like him. I think he's the freaking man. He's a genius at derivatives, and I mean he's done so many wild deals before. So I am long PSTH. Do you have an opinion on that one?
I'm not in that one. It just it's taking so long. And I think Ackman's a really smart guy too. Like that, if you're betting on a management team, he's one of the names you would go with. But then when Chamath got SoFi, that was one of the runs they were rumored on getting. I was like, okay, I just it's been a long time now, so I wouldn't. I think it can still earn money because he hasn't announced something, and when it announces, it's going to pop. And I would probably sell at that point. But right now, I think you could get in lower cost SPACs and not worry about having to spend $26 on that.
Yep, absolutely. Yeah, I mean, it's expensive at this point. I got in a lot cheaper than that. All right. I think that takes us through it. You have anything else that you want to touch on before we close it out for the special late night edition?
Guys, check out my channel, Black Rue Investing. If you just Google my name or Black Rue Investing, you'll see one of my videos. Please like and subscribe. I mentioned weekly stock videos. I go over topics just like we go over in here. But I'm probably going to keep the education to this show that we're going to be doing weekly here. And I just want to leave you guys with a couple of picks from my weekly video.
There we go. I love picks. All right, let's hear them.
So ACEV, if you can bring that up, Luke. And just to mention, last week,
my screen again.
Last week I brought up RBBN, and that's up like 20%.
Wait, did I share my screen or no? Okay, no, I didn't. All right, there we go. All right. What was the ticker?
Well, let's bring up the one from last week if you can.
All right, let's bring up the one from last Monday. RBBN, Romeo Bravo Bravo November. Here's the 5-day chart. That's what we need to look at it from last week. All right, that was a good move. Okay, I'll give you that. Yeah, 8 to 10 is 25%.
And to borrow from Jason, it's a thing behind the thing of 5G. They basically like beef up your 5G network, and by your I mean a company's 5G network, so they can just have a more powerful 5G network.
Okay, I love that. I got a 5G phone recently. I'm running my speed test now. I was never like super behind 5G until I got this
Yeah,
phone. I mean, the internet is so fast. It's insane.
nice.
I get 150 megabits per second down from 5G on my phone now, which is about 3 times as fast as the internet I pay for at my house. It's
Oh my
crazy.
god! Wow.
Yeah, it's crazy. So ever since I got that, I'm like, holy shit, 5G is the future here. But all right, what's the ticker for this week? One from last
Uh,
week, big winner. Round of applause. What's this pick?
2 for this week. It'll be ACEV. It's a
All right, so
SPAC.
that's Alpha Charlie Echo Victor. SPAC trading at $11. All
They're
right, 5-day
merging with
chart.
a semiconductor company, and just like I told you guys, I'm in the warrants because I think warrants are really more bang for your buck. And the warrants are like at under $3. So yeah, and this one you might have to wait for a little bit because I think just like MP, the market hasn't caught up with the fact that there's a semiconductor shortage and that these things are in high demand right now.
That's interesting. Yeah, that semiconductor shortage I'm worried about for my autos. I've got a few hundred shares of Ford, and I bought 100 shares of GM today after that Super Bowl commercial. So I hope
Yeah,
it
so you
doesn't hit
got to
my
get the
positions there.
thing behind the thing. You got to get the thing behind the thing. I
I
got
hedge myself a
I
little
have
bit.
this.
All right. So there's one, and what's the other one?
The other one is ZOM, Zomadia.
ZOM. Okay, this one's I've been seeing this ticker a lot in the chat. I'm guessing that it's because the share price has gone from $1.50 to $2.50. That's a hell of a run.
Right. And if you go out like a month, it was like at 40 cents.
All right, here's the 1 month
Um,
chart. Okay. So what's up with this one?
to be honest, it's been a good company for a while. I believe, don't quote me on this, but I believe that um, it used to be Pfizer's pet drug company.
I
And they
think you're
just
right about
broke it
that.
up.
Yeah, here's the description of it. So Zomedica is a veterinary health company creating products for companion animals. So if this was a Pfizer spinoff, that means the share price was way higher at some point. Let's go back a couple of years. Here's 5 years. No, this must not. There's no way this was the Pfizer spinoff if they spun it off at 60 cents a share. I mean, it could be, but
Could
I
be.
would
I thought
imagine that they
it
wouldn't spin
was.
it off at $1 a share.
But yeah, so people are going crazy for pet things and just more people are buying more pets because they're at home and they're lonely and the Rona thing is happening. So I'm just playing off of all of that. You got companies like BarkBox and Chewy trending lately.
Yep.
So I'm trying to just follow that same wave. I'm like a ripster with that. I like to purchase breakout stocks. So
Shout out Ripster. All right.
yeah, so
I
those are
like
the
it.
two. And just one more AMD. I'm really big on AMD. I'll probably do a
All right, let
video
me
on
put
that
the screen
lately.
back up. AMD. I haven't looked at this chart in a while. All right, so here's the 1 year. And I'm guessing you like AMD for the same semiconductor reason.
Exactly. They bought Xilinx, which is like a leader in the semiconductor FPGA space. So they own Xilinx. And then I'm hearing that a lot of companies are trying to switch over from Intel to a ARM processor, which is AMD's specialty. They make the processors and the what are they called? The GPUs.
Okay.
So ARK Invest just recently did some type of pamphlet where they're talking about like what's hot now, and they were really big on FPGAs and they were really big on ARM processors, which is everything that AMD does.
Mhm.
So I'm really onto these guys due to that thing, and they just recently put it out. And if you look at Kathy Wood's recent like ARK Invest talk, she mentions FPGAs and ARM stuff. So
All right, I'm gonna
really
pitch
high
you.
on this one. They beat earnings recently.
All right, I'm gonna pitch you
Go
another
ahead.
one, another semi stock. I mean, I know the point of the show is to do warrants and SPACs, but now you're talking semis. I got to pitch my semi ticker,
Let's do
Tower
it.
TSEM. This chart is beautiful. The thing is breaking out, and so I like this one. Yeah, higher highs and lower lows in this thing.
Sweet. I'm gonna have to add that tomorrow.
There you
The chart
go.
looks great.
Okay, you guys are funny in the chat. You got somebody saying, Luke, you need to go home. Luke's sitting down. Yeah, 50 megabytes up and down on home internet. Yeah, that's all I have. But I get 150 down on my phone. Isn't that crazy? I mean, 5G, I
It is.
seriously thought it was like sort of a freaking gimmick because I'm like, 4G LTE is plenty fast. What do I need it any faster for? But I mean, it's seriously so fast that it's ridiculous.
And
I think
supposedly,
that the play that I like, a stock that I own. All right, and then I'll stop ranting. But you know, I get excited about this. So the stock that I own, Inseego, ticker ISNG. I've had this one for a minute. But the reason why I like this one is basically they make routers for your house for 5G signal, right?
okay.
So instead of Comcast or whoever your internet provider is having to dig wires into your home, what Inseego does basically is they let you capture that 5G signal from a tower out of the sky and then broadcast it as Wi-Fi throughout your house for all your devices to connect to it. And with 5G that fast,
Yeah.
I mean, there's no reason to have to dig the cables out to your house. I mean, the only thing that's faster here at the Benzinga office, we get 1,000 megabits down with fiber internet, but nobody needs that, especially at home. 150 down at home is plenty.
Fiber cables. Wow, that's awesome.
Yep. But cool. All right, guys. Shout out somebody watching all the way from South Africa. Appreciate it.
All right, guys, I want to hear what you guys want to see next week. Please put in the comments how you watch the show. I want to know what you guys want to learn about next week. I'll always have something for you, but let me hear from you guys. The show is about you guys. Let's make it happen for you. You know what I'm saying?
Yep, exactly. Let's do it. We're doing these Monday night education sessions. We talk a lot of stock picks and trading during the day. We don't do a ton of education. So yeah, drop those education topics in, and I will talk to you guys later. Subscribe. Hit the subscribe on this channel. We go all day now. Benzinga all day broadcast, 8 a.m. Eastern to 5 p.m. Eastern. If you're bored, that's the place to tune in.
See you guys next week.
Peace.
Peace.